For the Shimano conversion installation, you'll need the 68mm conversion BB for road or 73mm conversion for the mountain bike. Anti-seize is what we're asking you to use because BB30 is metal on metal. You can use copper slip, you can use Permatex anti-seize, just anti-seize. You'll also want 2 Shimano lever style bottom bracket tools because you're going to need leverage. Grab a press tool for the bottom bracket, and then for removal, you're going to want a cup tool and a rubber mallet. Since we're installing a BB30, we don't need the included PF30 sleeve that comes installed, so simply take off your orange seals and set them to the side. You'll come back to these later. And unthread the drive side of the bottom bracket. Simply slide off the PF30 sleeve and set it off to the side. The longer cup is your non-drive cup. And you'll notice that there's the O-ring on the non-drive side. This is a tolerance O-ring to deal with frame variances. It must be on the non-drive side. And the shorter cup is your drive cup. At this point, you're going to want to make sure that the tolerance O-ring is on the non-drive side still. And this is where we're going to apply some anti-seize. You only need to apply anti-seize on the ends of the cup because that is actually where the press fitting happens in these frames. So do a light dabbing and spread it around. And then on the other side, do the same thing. Once the non-drive cup is done, grab your drive cup, which is the shorter cup, and make sure you get a good coating of anti-seize around not only the threads, but the smooth taper area just above the threads. This is a BB30 frame, so you want to remove the C-clips that come installed. So simply pull them out and make sure that the frame is clean. Also inspect to make sure that any cable guides are not protruding and going to prevent the bottom bracket from being pressed in. With your non-drive cup with the anti-seize applied and double check your non-drive O-ring, simply press it in the non-drive side of the frame with your hands and just push it in and have it prepped. Grab your press tool, slide it in from the drive side and connect it together. Now this is a very important step right here. You want to make sure that when you're pressing in the non-drive cup that you do not fully overpress the drive cup. You are simply going to press the non-drive cup so that the tolerance O-ring just kisses the side of the frame. Do not compress the O-ring. See how it just kisses the frame? And you are done. Unclip your press tool and pull it out of the frame. Non-drive side is all prepped and ready to go, and now we can proceed to the drive side. When you look from the drive side of the frame, you'll see the collets ready to go. There they are. Here is your drive cup with the anti-seize applied, and you can just, with your hand, simply start threading this in clockwise. You can thread it in by hand to start out, and then you'll feel it getting tougher. At this moment, you're going to want to grab your 2 Shimano tools, again using longer type bottom bracket tools. One goes on the non-drive side, and you will not turn this one. This is simply for leverage. And then the drive cup is the one that you will turn, again clockwise. I like to use small quarter turns because they're controlled and I can get good leverage. You will simply keep turning clockwise direction, the drive cup, until the drive cup bottoms out on the non-drive cup. There is a machined stop that is on the drive cup that physically hits the non-drive cup inside the frame and it bottoms out, and you will feel it tactically in the tool. So you will turn until you feel it bottom out on the other tool and you are done. Once that is completely bottomed out, you will see that the drive cup is flush with the frame. You are not to have any gaps on the drive side as the drive side cup sets your chain line for the Shimano crank. At this point, you're going to grab your orange seals that you had set to the side, and we like to put a lop of grease on the underside as it adds a little bit of a barrier for moisture, road grit, and any other kind of grime that can get under the seal and towards your bearing. This is just precautionary. Then you just take your orange seals, face them orange out with the grease on top of the bearing, and just place it on like that, and you're finished. At this point, grab your Shimano Holotech 2 crank and install it per Shimano instructions. For the removal, you're going to use the same 2 bottom bracket tools, one bracing the non-drive and one unthreading the drive. For the video, I'm just showing the last steps here. So unthread the drive cup. You're going to back it all the way out counterclockwise. Grab your cup removal tool, and on the inside of the non-drive cup, we actually built a lip for the tool to catch so you don't damage the bearing. Just slide it through, and listen for that click, and then wrap your arm through the frame, bracing your frame and the tool, and simply give it a couple good hits, and that will break loose the non-drive cup. The beauty is you can install and uninstall this bottom bracket as many times as you'd like. Always make sure you grab the non-drive O-ring and pull the bottom bracket out. And that's the removal.